What's going on, Red Nation? Everybody, no matter where you are, NBA fans, welcome to Rockets Daily. Brought to you by FanArch. My name is David Delano. Rockets with 2 preseason games left. Maybe 1 preseason game left by the time a lot of you guys are watching this. But go ahead and stay locked in and subscribe. That way you never miss a video. You can go back. Appreciate no matter where you're listening or how you're listening. Thanks so much for making Rockets Daily a part of your rotation. We're going to go ahead and get into this quickly today. Rockets, 2 games remaining, taking on the New Orleans Pelicans. 2 road games. New Orleans Pelicans on Tuesday, October 14th. Atlanta Hawks, which is a neutral site game, on Thursday, October the 16th. Rockets obviously open up the preseason. 2 strong outings at the Toyota Center, taking down the Atlanta Hawks and the Utah Jazz. And for those of you who keep up with that type of stuff, even though it's just preseason, Rockets also covered the spread in both of those games, with both of those games going over the total. We're going to get into our prediction for the Tuesday, October 14th game. And then on Thursday morning, we'll get into the prediction for the final game against the Hawks. We're going to keep track of this. First one we did hit, we had the Rockets covering the spread against the Hawks, and didn't get the... based on time video, we didn't have an official play on the one against Utah. But a couple things to watch tonight. First of all, Rockets 5.5 point favorite going into this game, and the total is set at 231.5 on the over/under. We got DeJounte Murray out for the Pelicans, Derek McQueen and Trey Murphy game time decisions. Jason Tate is a game time decision along with Dorian Finney-Smith, but I'd be surprised to see Dorian Finney-Smith, but we will see. And obviously Fred VanVleet's out. They're probably going to be saying that all season long. This is really going to be the first true preseason game for the Pelicans against an NBA team. They're 2-0. Both of those came against the Melbourne United, so this is going to be their first game against NBA competition on Tuesday, October 14th here. A couple things as far as who to watch for. Personally, obviously it was nice to see Kevin Durant, what he did in his Rockets debut. But, Şengün, Durant, Amen Thompson is going to be a big part to take the step forward. Jabari Smith. But those are guys I'm more curious to see what we're going to see in the regular season. For me, throughout the first 2 preseason games, or in Kevin Durant's case, first preseason game, I'm not too worried really about the preseason for those guys. 2 guys particular, we can say maybe a couple others, but the 2 guys particular that I'm looking forward to watching tonight against the Pelicans, and if you've already watching this after the Pelicans game, in the final preseason finale against the Atlanta Hawks, we talked about him before, is going to be J.D. Davison, who 17 points in 22 minutes in the first game against the Hawks, and then 8 points in 17 minutes in the second game. Shot very well from 3-point range in the first game, and I mentioned J.D. Davison before. But some of you guys, it may be your first time on this channel. If it is, definitely go ahead, give us a like, leave a comment, and go ahead and subscribe. Anything that's on your mind, Rockets-wise. But mentioned a guy, 5-star recruit out of high school, left 1 year after Alabama. 3 years now NBA experience, although most of it has been at the G League level, but in a very strong organization with the Boston Celtics. I mentioned J.D. Davison because with obviously Fred VanVleet's injury, we're talking about point guard now, Aaron, with Holiday, Reed Shepherd, J.D. Davison. This is a guy who's still young, been a very, very high volume scorer and assist man as well, especially at the G League level. Still very young, that I think can have an impact on this roster. Is one of those guys, two-way guy to potential of really making a big impact. So we're gonna see. He's somebody that I definitely want to. I'm gonna be interested in watching, along with Reed Shepherd. It might sound like a broken record, but Reed Shepherd, want to see how he does. Want to see him shooting the ball well, controlling his emotions, eliminating mistakes, and locking in on the defensive end. So J.D. Davison and Reed Shepherd are 2 guys that I am most excited to watch against the Pelicans on the 14th, and also against the Hawks on the 16th. And I mentioned Jason Tate, and we had an interesting comment as far as, he missed the first 2 games. dealing with an injury as far as why is he still on the roster now 6 years in the NBA. a guy I personally root for, a guy who's been a big part of this Rockets team through the down years and now up here for good times. But just business, from the business aspect of it, just wonder if he could be a casualty for a trade during the season at some point, because you still, each roster spot is important. You want guys who are going to be contributing no matter what part of the season it is. You're going to have some days you're going to deal with some injuries, and is Jae'Sean Tate really somebody that I think that there's NBA teams that he can definitely help with this Houston Rockets teams with the depth. Where is his role? Will he play tonight? I'd like to see him play tonight, and I would like to see how he fits in. So J.D. Davidson is going to be number one for me, Reed Shepard number two, and Jae'Sean Tate, if he does play, I would like to see what happens. As far as predictions for tonight go, I'm going to look. I'm not going to glaze the Rockets and just take the Rockets all 82 games. I'm really serious when it comes to the predictions, even though this is only preseason. For what it's worth, looking at the 5.5 point spread in the Rockets' favor, 231.5 point total, I think we're going to see another over. I think there's going to be a lot of guys trying to get in the box score. Obviously, defensive intensity, very important, but I think still with this being the preseason and the Pelicans' first preseason game against an NBA team, I do think we're going to see some points. I like over 231.5, but my official play for this one, we're going to keep track of 1-0 so far in the season. I'm going to go with the Pelicans plus 5.5. Not that I want that to happen, but first of all, it's preseason. Second of all, that means that the Rockets can win this game by 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. I'm just saying that the Pelicans will not lose by 6 or more. I think that, first of all, it's the Pelicans. They're at home. Their first preseason game against an NBA team. Rockets have looked great through the first 2 preseason games. I do think that as far as what we've seen from the starters, from the main guys, I think that we'll see how Ime plays it, but we may see some more action from some of the other guys really trying to carve out their roles. So I think the Pelicans are going to cover. So official prediction for this game. I know it's Rockets Daily, man, but we're always going to keep it real. And I may be wrong. That's the great thing about predictions. I mean, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Am I personally putting money on this game, NBA preseason? No. But I do want to have a prediction on every game this season. So 1-0 so far. We're going to take the Pelicans plus 5.5 on Rockets Daily. And one thing, too, I want to go ahead and touch on. Obviously, Giannis rumors always floating around. They started on different Rockets platforms, including ours, to start the regular season. Been on the bigger national shows. Giannis to the Rockets, all of those things. Obviously, his brother Thanasis with the Milwaukee Bucks, and they also signed Alex Antetokounmpo as well. So 2 brothers on the roster. Milwaukee trying to make Giannis comfortable. And the reason I'm going to mention Giannis on here, and I can't promise it won't come up again, but unless it is relevant, I personally think it's about time to put the Giannis to the Rockets rumors to bed, at least for this season. I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening with Kevin Durant in place when you look at the chemistry of this team. And when you look at how much it would cost to get Giannis, I don't see it happening. I think it's see Giannis possibly moving somewhere else. And possibly see, after, another couple years after Kevin Durant's tenure, Giannis coming to the Rockets. You have the Lakers and all other teams, pretty much anybody in the NBA trying to contend in competition. But I'm going to say I think it's time to put the Giannis rumors to bed. I don't think Giannis is coming to the Rockets this season. I'm going to try not to mention it too much more, except for when it's really relevant. So I think that this move with the Bucks, what we've seen from the Rockets so far, where the Rockets are, I don't think Giannis is going to be coming to the Rockets. So let me know if you think otherwise. Thanks so much for watching Rockets Daily. Drop your predictions, Rockets versus Pelicans, in the comments before the game only, or if you're watching it after that game. Go ahead and leave Rockets, Hawks. I know it's just preseason. We'll leave those predictions in the comments. We definitely appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching. I'm David Delano. This has been Rockets Daily. God bless and be safe out there.